Hey and welcome everyone. So, top 10 units are here, and now we have to discuss them. So, it's been about like 3 weeks since I last done this, and as you imagine, the top 10 has changed quite a lot since then. So, there's been a lot of changes, there's been a lot of good, there's been a lot of bad. Units went up, down, you already know what the deal is, right? So, we're gonna go through our 2 honorable mentions, with the first one being Jiren, who is officially kicked out of the top 10. Now, I like to say that this unit still is absolutely amazing. He could tank really well, but there's one problem. He's a yellow unit. Yeah, that's not that good. Now, of course, with this tier list, I will be taking account teams and team fit and element factor. It's not gonna be that huge of a difference. Element factor, I'm kind of fine with. Not really that huge of a deal in my opinion, but if we have to do, at least like take 1 point off, because he is a yellow after all, and he doesn't have like any like nullification of color of element factor or something like that. Main thing with him is that if there isn't a yellow, if there isn't a red, then you're completely fine. He could tank really well. He could block AoE after transforming. After transforming, he also gets another main ability, which gives him cover nullification. The only problem with him is that he doesn't have any nullification of element factor, which really does hinder what he really could be its full potential. So, really nice unit overall, but if there's a red unit on the opponent's team, then you need a blue unit of some kind to kind of take care of it. So, that's my second honorable mention. Let's go to the first honorable mention, or number 11. Now, if I'm being completely honest, I completely forgot to put him in the last top 10 unit video, but he is absolutely a top 10 unit. Now, of course, I didn't unlock his shit, right? But mainly his thing is that he could actually do damage and tank decently well now. Plus, his green card gets cover null. Now, of course, I don't think he's good enough to be in the top 10. He probably is number 11. I would say he's number 11, so he does really good damage. Now, the only thing that really holds him back is his tanking. He doesn't have really the best tank job, but you are building him on usually a uni-rep team, so you usually want to build him for, well, you're going to build him with 17, or if you're going to build him with God Key, what are we going to build him? Survival UI as well, so like, you'll be fine for the most part, but at the same time, you do have to be careful of his tank job. But everything else, his damage, his ultimate, his blue card's pretty good. He gets blast armor while he's using this blue card now, which is good. His ultimate and his AoE green card, that does take a long time to charge up, but if you do get cover null for about 5 seconds. It's always useful. Cover null is always useful in my opinion, so you always want that with your AoE green card, and he does deliver that with his AoE green card, which makes him very, very nice. Nothing really with the Striker Blast, but you know, he just does God Key, Saiyan, all that good stuff. Like, also he does uni reps. You could also do Zenkai buff for Goku and Frieza. Overall, he's a really good utility unit with his unique gauge being a little dodge trap, which is really good actually. So that's our number 11. Now it's time for the real top 10. Coming in at number 10. This might be a little disrespectful, right? But you have to hear me out. Ultra Rose can't really survive in this meta. I mean, he's really great, don't get me wrong, he's really great, but purple units are running around. Didn't mean to press that. Purple units are running around, and while he does have an absolutely just amazing team in the future, which is really nice, you could also just put Cell instead. You could put Cell, UGV, and Zamasu or some crap like that. You don't need this Rose. Now, of course, he's absolutely useful, but you have to realize that you don't get cover null, and main units really do need cover null. Like, if you want to be in the top 5, you're gonna see this with most of them. Number 5 to number 1 always have a way to get cover null usually. So him not being able to use cover null is a little bit disappointing. And don't get me wrong, his blue card is fucking amazing, but no cover null. He's a green unit. A lot of purples running around with Ginyu, Gogeta blue, the Cell, the purple UI. If you even run a mono purple, this Rose is just not going to be good. And even with all the right equipment and him at like 8 or 10 stars, which most people won't have him at 5 stars, And even at 8, he just really isn't going to do that much damage. He's really just more of a chip type of crap. And then if you can use the blue card to try to gain up your unique gauge. Now, of course, does that mean he's bad? Absolutely not. Once you get that first unique gauge filled up, you get your ultimate, then you really start just seeing the combo potential of what this Ultra Rose have. But if you don't, then it's really not the best. He has blast armor, which is always useful. Heavy bleeding, I guess. His blue card is one of the best, or is the best blue card in the game. Green card's extremely good, but the first ultimate that you do have was Ultra Rose. It's always weak, I'm not gonna lie with you. It's the first ultimate is always weak because if you use your second and your third, you get 20% more ultimate damage, right? So it really does matter. If your first ultimate's not going to do the most damage, so you have to really be careful about that. And then you have to be careful about him not dying, because of course he doesn't have the best tank job. It only has a strike cover change, which is the usual, but you have to be really careful when using him, and you have to use him strategically. Of course, an amazing utility unit. Yeah, it's not a utility unit. Amazing blue card damage, amazing strike damage is okay. Blast time, I'd rather not talk about it. Green card's pretty good, but thing is, no cover and all. He seems amazing, so that's why he's staying in the top 10. But with just all of his with him being green and him having almost no way to get element like nullification of colors, then it's really disappointing, because even when there's like a blue unit at 17, you can still see 17 tanking like 1 or 2 ultimates from Rose. And that's really disappointing, because Rose came out 2 months later after 17, so, and he's an ultra, so you really expect more from that. But he's our number 10, and let's go to our number 9. Now, of course, this is one of my favorite units in the game, but even I can't justify putting him like at number 7, number 6, because he's amazing. But you'll see with most of these things is that I'm sorry to say this, but most of the early like 6 to 10s are gonna have the same pattern. Now, what makes him different from Rose, and the reason why I put him in here, is that his blue card, while not being the best blue card in the game, his green card is even better than Rose's. He gets cover null, he gets cards. If you get your gauge filled up, you get cover null, and you basically have an infinite combo for like the next 30 minutes. You get that as just make a sandwiches, and it really is amazing. And green card's good. Universal Destruction's always nice to have. It does AoE damage, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it does a little bit of AoE damage, I'm pretty sure. So AoE damage. He also has blast armor, and the thing with this Boo, and the reason why I don't want to put him that high, even while him being yellow, it's not really that big of an issue, because AoE green card goes burr. He has a shit ton of AoE green cards. Don't really have to worry about it. He gets cover null. You could probably force him to switch into Vegito blue, then you could trap him with 17, then do a Rising Rush. The problem is, right, with this, is that he only has one really like good team that he could work with. Now, of course, you could say put him on leader slot, but you want to put your leader slot things on Vegito, Blue, Goku, and Frieza. It's not really like you want to put on Kid Buu usually. Now, of course, Kid Buu's amazing, but the only real team you could put him on is what powerful opponent. Don't even think about putting him in regeneration. You know damn well that freaking Orange Pickle isn't gonna do jack shit. I'm sorry, Orange Pickle. I just don't like him. He's just for being an anniversary unit, he's just not good. I mean, he does amazing stuff. His unique gauge is the thing of dreams. His unique gauge plus his main ability heals up like 70-80% of his health. He's tanky as hell. If there is a purple unit, then maybe you could run him. You could run this Kid Buu as Rose, and that's a really good unit. Now, of course, usually I wouldn't say this, but like if you run him with Rose and then put Vegito Blue in leader slot, that's a really good team, because if you put, that's like a little circle, like what do we call it? Okay, Vegito Blue covers Kid Buu covers Rose covers Vegito Blue, and that's the whole cycle, right? Now, of course, I don't want to be talking about that all day, but if we're really talking about what's important here, is that he could really just, he gets, with his blue card activates twice, he gets his gauge back, which is always nice, and he also gets his gauge back when you do a Rising Rush, which is really just amazing, because You know, people like to rise rush after their blue card, so you could just say no. And that's really useful. He's a defense type, which really makes him at least able to withstand Vegito Blue at high stars. So he's able to deal with Vegito Blue, and he has cover null. Now there's no way to get elephant element no color nullification, but that's a little disappointing. But overall, he's a good unit, but you have to pair him up with a blue unit. You want to pair him up with a blue usually, you feel what I'm saying? So here's our number 9. Now we go on to the number 8. Yep, and the Gams are our number 8 units. Now, of course, you can see he's another yellow. I don't want to put every yellow in here, but you're no real good yellows right now in the meta, so I would say that he's, I believe in the tier list, I think he is the best yellow unit out there currently. The only real thing was him, he does have a shit ton of color nullification, which is very useful when you're trying to switch in and switch out. The main thing with him is that he does a lot more chip damage than like more like you could probably take him out in like 4 or 5 cards. You need to take like 8, 7, 8, 9 cards to take out a unit, which isn't bad at all. But thing is, his cover null is only like a couple of seconds. It's not like you get cover null for the rest of your life. It's really not that well. Yeah, cover null for 2 seconds. I mean, you get endurance, nullification, which is always useful, but you know, that's not really that good. Cover nullification for 2 seconds, so you might be able to use a blue card in time, but he only has it in like spontaneous things. He doesn't have it like 5, 6 seconds where you're just able to freaking combo them to death. You only have to run 2 seconds. You'd be like, do I really want to continue to combo, or do I want to use a blue card? Now, the thing is with the Gammas is that their green card is extremely useful, always gets you a blue card, and always does, at least does reduce key, or for Gamma 2, I'm pretty sure. It does reduce key as well, and it's really useful, honestly. Also restores advantage engage by 70%, which is always useful as well. So, if you're able to get a couple of green cards often, you're really gonna have a nice one with the Gammas. The thing is that their blue card doesn't do the most amazing thing, and once you get the core breaker off, you only have Gamma 1, and then that's where they kind of start to fall off a little bit, because when you get core breaker off, you kind of want everyone to be close to the end, and if you have Gamma 1 just standing on its own, not able to restore just gauge because you can't switch to Gamma 2, that's really not a position you want to be in. Now, of course, you could run on tags from the movies, and the reason why I don't like using Gammas that much is that the only tags they have is Android. They couldn't put them on powerful opponent, which I probably couldn't, but it's kind of disappointing to see that, but it's fine. You can still run them on Sagas and Androids, which are two pretty decent teams, so you could probably run them on. So that's why he's number 8. Now let's go on to the number 7. Now, of course, for our number 7, we have the Toad. Obviously, I'm joking. It's Captain Ginyu. Captain Ginyu, while not having any ways to get cover nullification, the main thing is that after revival, and before revival is good, but the main thing is after revival, triple card draw speed. So if you're in a 1v1 situation, and I think Goresh had a video of him just shitting on the Gammas with triple card draw speed, and imagine you put the future, oh my god, that's a video idea, my god. Anyways, right, he has color nullification. He doesn't have any way to get color nullification, just any way to get color nullification, and any way to get cover change nullification, but that's not the point. The point is that if your opponent is in a 1v1, or the unit that he's using doesn't have a cover change, you could stack cards on cards on cards on cards on cards. Like, it's absolutely amazing what he's able to do. And before revival, he's still good because his blue card does all cards are chained upside down for the duration and everything shuffled. Basically, he does card obscurity, which is really annoying because if you have a blue card where you go to the blue and you're just trying to be like, do I take the risk, and you just like charge in there with it, it's really annoying to have. And for a couple of seconds, you just relax, charge up your key, and just take a chill pill, basically. And also, he's a revival unit, so you know, he's a revival unit, so he's able to take rising rushes. Not the best tank job, but because he's a revival unit, you really can't be mad at that. So, not really the worst thing ever. So, also the Toad, even if you don't get Toad, it does what? You'll be fine, even if you do get the Toad, it's like in what reduces ki by 70. So, you're able to do something, I guess. I mean, if you don't get it, then yikes. Yeah, reduce ki by 70 if revival failed. I mean, you want more buffs, but the main thing is you actually have to be good to use this Captain Ginyu, because once you get the revive off, then it's really nice. It's just combo city, and if you pair them up with some unit that's cover nullification, or with the new Zenkai Frieza that just came out, Ella Frieza, which will not be in this tier list. So, but here's our number 7, and let's go on to our number 6. I do think that Gogeta Blue is better than Ginyu at this point. Sure, you could say that Ginyu has combo potential, he has this, he has that, but if you're talking about overall, you want to have Gogeta Blue instead of Captain Ginyu. Card nullification. Why do I keep pressing the soul boost button? What the hell? Card nullification, and once you get a couple of timer counts going, then you really just start to restore to anything gauge at 100%, blah 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 blah. Also, when you do right thing rush, you get your gauge back. After like I think 70 timer counts, you get your gauge back from your green card. You get 2 blue cards. Activate twice, you use your green card, activates twice, you get a blue card. That blue card restores ki. Once you get your first attack off, that restores ki. He really good damage, really good stuff, and plus his gauge being really annoying. You already know what it is. It's futile. Yeah, you already know what it is, right? So, slow starters. What the hell is he? Oh, slow. That's a thing? I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that was okay, right. Anyways, right. So you really want to just, he has a soul starter. So you, after like in a 1v3 scenario, he becomes an absolutely amazing unit. Now, of course, I already talked about him in the last episode. So if you want to hear like a more detailed explanation and why he's in the number 6, then go there. But I'm just gonna go through the main points. Really nice. Destroys cards whenever using your main ability. Really nice overall unit. Gets has coverage change for blast and strike. Does cover nullification, does color nullification as well, and overall it's just a really good unit. If you want to see what I talked about it more, then check out the last top 10 episode. But honestly, that's why he's in number 6. But there is a new new unit for our number 5. Now, I'm not even gonna lie with you, it's been I thought he was gonna die out personally. I'm gonna bite the bullet on that. I was wrong. He didn't die out. He's actually pretty decent. So I didn't talk about him, so now I'm able to really go into what he's able to do. First, let's go to his normal crap. He restores ki when doing this. He gets also 150% more blast damage when, you know, an opponent charges with blast armor, which is always useful because blast armor people are just not cool. Perfect Kamehameha is just pretty good, and if you're in a 1v3, then you have a good chance to land hit. Also, blast armor, it's a melee type, so you know. Punishment Storm is an AoE green card, so it's an AoE green card that it's an AoE, you know. Yeah, what am I doing? Okay, it restores his ki by 50. He also charges up his unique gauge by 20. It just gets you more blast damage, attribute downgrades, and you can combo it, or you can combo it obviously for Fisher Blast, or with a blue card if you need to. Also, I think we have to talk about his unique gauge, which is very fucking good. Once his unique gauge is filled, and you can do this with his main ability, which also restores his unique gauge, which also grants him a blue card and a couple other effects. So, hold on, let me just. Yeah, he gets a blue card, he gets ki, he gets this, he gets unique gauge filled, and gradually restores ally health, which is really important to have. He also has a strike coverage change, which I think most of these units do have, in the top 10 do have a coverage change of some sort, so, you know. But the thing is, once you get his unique gauge filled up, he has cards, he has a lot of cards. So, if you have one card, then you'll have a full deck of cards once your unique gauge is filled. You will always get your gauge back up to 100%, which is, you know, useful. Get more damage inflicted, more card draw speed for 70 timer counts. Like, that's crazy. Like, that's a very long time. Most matches don't even last 70 timer counts, and once you do, you could probably stack up to 3 times speed for like maybe 15 or 20 timer counts in total. So that's also very useful. Also, he does color nullification, for 15 timer counts, you're really just able to lay a bunch of cards on them and just able to do a shit ton of combos. So that's always useful. Randomly draws 1 new card when you have 3 or fewer cards. I already said that. And also when he gets in the thing, he gets some more key. And you want to build him in Cell Saga. No one builds him in Cell Saga. I will usually want to build him in an Android team. Android Future, like I said before, I'd probably use the Cell over Rose at this point. But if you do have this Cell, then you could probably replace him with Rose and just run something. Oh god, I need to check. You could probably run him with, oh yeah, Vegito Blue, Zamasu, and then this guy, right? Or you could run him with Vegito Blue, Rose, and this guy. You want to have the Zamasu usually because, you know, he's usually your tank unit. Or Short of Hope. I don't have Short of Hope in this tier list if you're wondering. I do not have him. But the main thing with him is that just an amazing, while he doesn't have an ultimate, his blue card does do damage, and you do have a chance to faint even when everyone's alive, so that's always useful. Gets color nullification, gets endurance. He doesn't get endurance. And oh, right, I almost forgot. What am I doing? I almost forgot. When he dies, he calls something called an AoE green card. Yeah. So when he does die, the following effect when the final counter hits, he basically destroys all your cards, reduces key, does no switching. So if they don't have a gauge of ball, you have, then you could probably just lay on a quick Rising Rush and really just ruin their day. So while him being mainly, you want him to die, he's really good being alive, and you probably want to, even in some cases, you want him to do the 1v3, because that 30% feint on his blue card is always useful to have. But he's our number 5. He's our top 5. Let's go to the number 4. Okay, listen, some people might say, but Hit isn't that good. Shut up. Hit is the most underrated unit, and I'm very happy to say that he's number 4. Now, listen, while some people might say that he doesn't deserve it, he's not that good, you know what I say to that? Time skip. Just a time skip. A one-shot counter, and he'll always be in the top 5 for a very long time. A counter where you go from a fucking 3-on-3 to a 3-on-2, a 2v3 to a 2v2, a 1v3 to a 2v2 to a 2v1, a 3. You understand how annoying that is? One unit's always dead. If you have him so boosted and you put him on the right team, his blue card is always fucking crazy. His time stop is crazy. He gets his gauge back from his ultimate. He does cover nullification, more crits. He doesn't have blast armor. He gets ultimate. He restores key. Does more. It's all about the criticals. And insurance ally substitution count by 5, which is always something that you want with a unit. Because if you're getting Rising Rush, if you're in the middle of a combo, or let's say that you had to switch out from 17 and you know that you might be fucked, you want to put that main ability on just to try to get 17 a little bit quicker. The ability doesn't matter, but overall, even without the time skip, he's a very good unit. He does amazing blue card damage, and you really can't be mad about what he does. Also, when he defeats an enemy, restores his own key and reduces enemy Dragon Balls, which is always something that you always want from a unit. Now if you want to hear about more why I put him in the top 5, check my last video. But for now, that's why he's my number 4, and I think you already know what 3, 2, and 1 are gonna be, right? So here we go, number 3. Do I even have to begin with this? He's a blue unit. He counters Vegito Blue. He's on Unirep, one of the best teams. He tanks a lot. Once you get his gauge filled up, he gets 2 gauges basically. His green card does cover nullification. His blue card gets you another green card, which gets you closer to the freaking unique gauge, which gets you closer to winning the game. Once a battle enemy is defeated, you'll also get, what's it called? Also, once a battle member is defeated, his ultimate also do color nullification. He gets cover nullification, which his gauge is filled up with the green card. His blast makes him card draw speed by 1 level for 5 timer counts is always useful. Accelerate blaster is always useful. Accelerate finish is always useful. Defeat a battle member, color nullification, blast armor. He can also do something called tank, and when the opponent does a blue card or an ultimate, reduces every buff that opponent has. He could survive a Rising Rush. He can survive a Rising Rush from Vegito Blue and from Gogeta Blue, who's supposed to have endurance nullification with the Rising Rush. He's able to completely block that, and he's the only real counter to them. So if you're wondering why he's in the top 3, then keep wondering, because I just explained it to you, but I don't want to take that much time because I think you already know why. I think you already know who 2-1 is or 1-1 is, but it is the top 10, so I have to. I don't want to do the argument, but I have to do it. Here's our number 2. Listen, I don't want to hear it. I'm going to say it like this. Once 60-30 timer count is like elapse, then they become the best unit in the game. Vegito Blue is the best unit in the game for 30 timer count, and those 30 timer counts don't feel like 30 timer counts. They feel like 300 timer counts, so I don't want to explain it any more than that. I mean, sure, you can say that they have this buff and this buff with their cover change, they can blah 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 blah. Listen, it's a mobile game, okay? It doesn't matter that much. They're both number 1 in my opinion, but because, you know, it's a top 10 list, and I'm not gonna shy away from the topic, and I think Goku and Frieza are a nice number 2. Vegito Blue is slightly better, I think, than Goku and Frieza, but once you get the past those 30 timer counts, then you really just... You want me to read this, by the way, guys? You really want me to explain their whole kit? I'm not explaining their whole kit, okay? Like, that's not happening. I'm just playing like this. You're basically just gonna have a nice time. Green card gets you color nullification after like 70 timer count. It's a 1v3 situation. You get like gauge, like... It's crazy. It's crazy what they're able to do, and Vegito Blue is the same thing. It's crazy what he's able to do, and if you really want me to go through it, then I will, but I'll just say the basic stuff. Death Pressure from Frieza and Goku are just amazing. Frieza's green card is absolutely amazing, being able to draw 3 cards, and reduces, he restores his own gauge by 70% when there's a defeated battle. You already know what it is, right? Like, he'll do that once in a 1v3 scenario. You could switch into Goku, get a lot of cards, deal damage quickly. You switch into Frieza, he gets his gauge back, does amazing damage. He doesn't have the best cards, but he does amazing damage. You get a green card, he gets his gauge back again. He's able to lay it on there, and once you're in a 1v3 scenario or a 2v3 scenario, then you really have the upper hand, really, because this Goku and Frieza really shines in those situations. But you already know what number 1 is. Let's just go on to it. Yeah, okay, listen, they're in the number 1 unit. I get it that Goku and Frieza does this and that, but like, how do I explain this? Once you get into a match and you don't have your fucking gauge and you have to be forced to switch out, I don't know. Maybe that just shows you that the unit's a little bit unfair, and that it's what Vegito Blue is, just completely unfair in every way. Blast armor. He gets key with his blast. His blue card damage is it's the usual. Honestly, it's not the best, but versatile counter is the weirdest and most annoying counter in the game, and I will stand by that for a while. If you get hit with this and you already know what the feeling is, you already know when someone has a versatile counter, they're just able to just stand there, because there's nothing you could do. There's not hit a tap action. You're so lucky that doesn't say quick tap, by the way. If it's a quick dash and you get countered at, then you guys would be fucked. At least I don't think if you could counter a quick dash, then oh my god, that's just so annoying. His ultimate, I'm pretty sure it does a little bit of AoE damage. No, is it AoE damage? Yep, it does AoE. His ultimate does AoE. He reduces. He doesn't reduce. He destroys higher cards with the ultimate. He has double card draw speed. He gets cover nullification once you switch into him. Once your unique gauge is filled up, which is very easy to fill up, but it's like 3-4 cards. He has colorful nullification again. Cover nullification, double card draw speed, really good key. You already know where it's going. You already know what Vegito Blue does. You already know that if you basically get into a combo, they're basically doing 8 or 9 cards. They're getting that key. They're not going to run out of cards. They're going to fill up that gauge like 2 times, and they're just going to sit there just thinking about your life decision. So, I don't really want to get into like the nitty gritty of like what this unit does, but if you want to know what our number one unit is, it's still Vegito Blue, and I'm sorry. But that's my top 10 units in the game. I hope you guys like it. What is your top 10? Leave that in the comment below. But I'm not gonna take any more time. Please in the DBL, have some damn fun, and peace.